Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Holy Joe Rock and Roll coming at you live and unscripted and unrehearsed. I wanted to answer some questions. Have a lot of people been asking me, is it true that I do my presentations live and unscripted and unrehearsed? And it's true. Totally live, unscripted, unrehearsed. That's how I do everything. There's no script, there's no teleprompter, there's no nothing. And how do I do it? Well, I'll tell you a quick story first. And I started out, and everybody eventually will have to do some kind of public speaking, and I know a lot of people are scared of it. They're scared about getting in front of people and talking. And some people say you should envision your audience not wearing any clothes, that kind of stuff. I mean, whatever works for you. But what I have done is just simply prepare my mind for talking to an audience or talking to a camera. And I just want to give you a quick history. Where I started was in high school. I joined a debate team, and I got really good at it. And I went to the nationals 2 years in a row. Once on a team, a two-person debate team. The second time as a Lincoln Douglas speaker. That's where it's one person speaking before an audience. And it really was a fascinating experience on both years. Now, the first year when I had a partner, we went to nationals, and my partner was very smart person, a very intellectual person, but he would have to stop and write down word for word whatever he was going to say. And it really pissed me off because we were not able to communicate during the break, or when the opponent team was speaking. I wanted to speak to him and say, listen, make sure you answer that point, right? He was so preoccupied with writing a speech about the previous speech that he would miss what they're talking about right now, right? Because debate, it's all about clash, right? And in order for you to earn points, you have to clash with the opponent, especially if you're the affirmative team and you are in favor of the resolution, or if you are the negative team opposed to the resolution. You need to hear what the affirmative team is listing as their points, and you have to clash with them. That means you have to give an answer, a response to what they're saying. That's called clash. If you don't clash with the argument, guess what happens? The next time the affirmative team gets up, they'll say, point 1, no clash. Point 2, no clash. Meaning, to the judges, they totally didn't attack our argument. So we win the argument, right? And it's really hard to come back in a third speech to say, oh, regarding their point 1, here's what I have to say. It's oftentimes too late. You missed the point. You missed the time to clash, okay? So this is what I had to deal with. This super smart egghead would have to stop and write his speeches. Now, for me, I would simply write down bullet points. Here's what they said. And now in my mind, like a high-speed computer, I would instantly calculate some response, even if it was very simple. I'll give you an example. One of the things was that one of the arguments that an affirmative team said was that regarding the resolution was resolved that the United States should significantly curtail arms sales to foreign countries. And the affirmative team said that if we continue to sell arms to Taiwan, this is back in the 80s, okay, 1980s, okay, late 80s or whatever. If the United States continued to sell arms to Taiwan, this would rupture U.S.-Chinese relationships, okay? And if you're as old as I am, you remember that there was a Chinese tennis player who defected to the United States, and that caused a rift in Chinese-American relationships, okay? Had nothing to do with arms sales. So, when he said that, I instantly wrote down the Chinese tennis player and said, look, here's an example of where U.S.-Chinese relationships were affected, had nothing to do with arms sales to Taiwan. Therefore, your point is busted. And I got points for that. And when the judges did their review, I got points for that because, bam, I slammed him really hard. Okay. So that's sort of where I came from. Okay, a lot of it was listening to what the opponent was saying, having a counter argument, and responding. Now, when you're in high school debate, you sometimes are on both sides of the of the resolution, right? Sometimes you're on the affirmative, sometimes you're negative. So you have to be able to argue both points, both ways, both directions, right? And it makes your mind more flexible because you're not locked into one ideological standpoint or position. You have to be able to argue both points. Now, you may personally have a feeling one way or the other, but just like a lawyer has to defend guilty people, you have to be able to argue both points. And it's helpful in any kind of real world situation. Like if, let's say you're in a sales situation, you're trying to talk to a customer and you have competitors, and maybe the competitor has a product with more features, quote unquote features, but you have to come back with, well, yes, they have feature X, Y, Z. However, our benefits are whatever it is, faster return on investment, ROI, faster time to value, right? You have all these other things that you can come back with. Or you might say, well, listen, by the way, yeah, we are adding that feature in our 2.0 release, which is coming out next month. It's already in QA and that kind of stuff. You got to be fast about it. You got to be quick about it. You got to know what's going on, right? If you know what's coming in the pipeline, these are things that you need to be able to talk about. Anyhow, so what do? Whatever the issue is that I want to talk about, I'll simply think about it. Now, occasionally I'll write down some bullet points, right? Just one line bullet points about the topic. So for instance, let's talk about the video I did on the Orlando shooter, okay? I wanted to talk about the Orlando shooter. He happened to be a gay Muslim, all right? So I wrote that down. I wanted to talk about the Orlando shooter's wife or wives, and I talked about that. I wanted to talk about the Orlando shooter's father, who was basically is a radical Muslim, supports the Taliban, supposedly wanted to run for president of Afghanistan, right? I want to talk about the police response to the whole situation, right? So those are 4 bullet points that I want to talk about. Nothing was scripted, nothing was rehearsed, nothing was written down except for the bullet points, right? Shooter, wife, father, and police response. Now, of course, the one thing that you can script out is your opening and your close. And my opening was a joke, right? But an off-color joke, which I obviously had to script that a little bit. I thought about that and wrote it down, whatever. And the close, which is make it happen for the captain because you're the captain, right? That's my close. So if you have the endpoints, right? Say call them bookmarks, not bookmarks, bookends, right? You got your bookends starting and ending. Then you have some bullet points for what the content is, what's going to be in there. Now there should be hopefully some kind of a logical transition between the different points. Sometimes there's not. Sometimes I remember something and I go back, right? So I talked about Obama, what he said, his comments were, and then I went off topic for a little bit and I came back. Sometimes that happens. You're speaking without a script. You're speaking without any kind of rehearsal, right? And that happens sometimes. But if you can make it smooth, seamless, or make it appear to be seamless, flow with it. Just be comfortable with it. Just know that you're flowing with it. Your speech can be fine, okay? There's no reason to really memorize a lot of stuff. Now, if you have a very important, like say an elevator pitch, 30-second elevator pitch or a 1-minute elevator pitch as we talk about as a salesperson, right? That's something that you definitely can memorize, but it's only 30 seconds. It's 1 minute maximum, right? But again, you're going to have 4 or 5 bullet points that you're going to run through. Hey, I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll. Here's why you should buy this product. Have you heard about this product? And then boom, 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 boom. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate your time. Here's my business card, right? That's a 30-second elevator pitch right there in a nutshell. So I just wanted to share this information with you, share this. Hopefully it gives you some sort of idea of how you can be fluid with your presentations, not be stressed out, not have to memorize or overly memorize things. And that's how I do it. And everybody might tweak it a little bit, whatever fits them, and you may evolve over time. Maybe in the beginning you have to write everything down just to kind of get it in your head. But obviously as you practice, it gets easier and easier. All right, so I hope this has been helpful. I'm Holy Joe Rock and Roll, and as always, make it happen for the captain because you're the captain.
Let freedom ring. I am American. Yes, I am American. Proud to be American. Yes. Yes, I am American. I am American. Yes, I am American. Proud to be American. Yes, I am American. Our fathers guard to thee authority of liberty.